So before we go over to Harv's Island, I have to know. We sold our turnips yesterday, so I have to know. Did we mess up? Would it have been better to wait another day? Son of a... Let's buy a toaster!
Plant gang all the way. Who needs a yang gang when you can be plant gang? Oh, I'm gonna trigger so many people by saying that.
Can you explain the gang gang thing to me? Because is it a Ruby reference or is it for something else?
What? I said
Yang.
yang gang, like Andrew
Yep.
Yang, the presidential candidate.
Oh, that's what it is.
You thought it was a Ruby reference?
There's a character in Ruby called Yang and
I really wish that there was face cam right now. I really, really do.
You're probably face palming and I'm giggling like a little schoolgirl.
We all know you're giggling because it's very obnoxious and loud.
Testing, testing, testing. Actually, I like how that sounded. Hello, everybody, and welcome to G8RStreams. It's gonna be a bit of a short one tonight because I get work tomorrow. Yay! And it's a morning shift. Yay! But we're playing Splatoon. Yay! Woohoo! Yay! Splatoon! So, this is going to be another Splatfest. It's going to be super fun and awesome and stuff like that. This month's Splatfest is for Handshake versus Fist Bump versus Hug. I don't like any of those. I'm autistic. I don't like being touched. So, yeah, this is definitely one of those that's going to be a little bit difficult to decide. So, the interesting thing is that for people who are like my friends and family and things like that, it seems like it's a different thing that everybody does to greet each other. So like I have a friend at work where we'll like do like a epic clap and then fist bump, and most of my friends like we will do like a fist bump and things like that when we see each other, but my closest friends will give each other a hug. So I don't know. Like when I first meet somebody, I'll give them a handshake. When I'm friends with them, I give them a fist bump, and then when we get close, we give each other a hug. So I don't know which one I want to go with first. I'm leaning a bit more towards fist bump because that's what most of my friends do when we see each other. So we're gonna go with fist bump. I'm so sorry, Shiver. But anyway, yeah, we're playing through Splatoon 3 again. It's gonna be fun and dandy and epic and awesome because I like this game. It's fun and dandy and epic and awesome. Alright, so let's read some of the Splatfest chats. Team Fist Bump. I'm seeing a lot of Sonic art for... I'm seeing a lot of Sonic art for Team Fist Bump. That's actually kind of fun. Even if the Fist Bump song came from a Sonic game I'm not particularly fond of. Wait, this is cute! This is cute! This is super cute and wholesome! Oh my god, I love it. Alright, SpongeBob and Gary's relationship on that show is one of my favorite things about it. Like that episode where this is a recording. That episode where like Gary goes missing. That is legit one of the most heartbreaking episodes I've ever seen when I was a kid. Like that song is forever burned in my brain. Let's challenge that statement. How much of it can I sing? Off the top of my head. This is not my regular bucket. I want to play with a good bucket. This one's also pretty good too. I'm just not too fond of the triple ink strike, so we'll go back to where is it? Blah blah blah. I probably should have more variety in the weapons that I choose in these games. That is one thing that I will say that I think my Splatoon Let's Plays definitely do kind of suffer from, is that I don't really have a whole lot of variety in the weapons that I choose in the games, but honestly, that's just how I play Splatoon. I usually just stick with one weapon forever and then just never really go beyond that. Like, I'll have like a small variety of weapons, like in Splatoon 2. The blah blah blur, Dark Tetradoolies, and the Undercover Umbrella were basically my mains. This game, it's basically just a blah blah blur. Like, the Dark Tetradooley is pretty good and all, but I feel like it's a lot weaker in this game. I don't think the Undercover Umbrella is in this one. I don't really play a whole lot of other weapons, so that's pretty fun. But anyway, yeah, let's go back to that Gary song. Alright. That was the episode where, like, SpongeBob, I was, like, doing the dirty bubble challenge with the paddle ball thingy. I forgot to feed Gary, and then he ran away and things like that. Communication around now! Gary, now I know I was wrong. I messed up, and now you're gone. Gary, I'm sorry I neglected you. Oh, I have never expected you to run away and leave me feeling this empty. Your meow right now would sound like music to me. Please come home, 'cause I miss you, Gary. Gary, come home. More than a pet, you're my best friend. Too cool to forget to come back, 'cause we are family. And forgive me for making you run around. My heart is beating now like the saddest metronome. Somewhere hope you're reading my latest 3-word poem. Gary, come home. I think I messed up one line, but that's actually pretty decent. I could have sung it a bit better, but honestly, I'm not a good singer, so that's probably the best that I could do without really paying attention. But anyway, yeah, we're playing Splatoon! And, like, I watched that episode again recently, and dang, that is still a heartbreaking episode. Like, most people would say that Season 3 is where it was, like, the last good SpongeBob season. I disagree. I think Season 4 has some really strong episodes. Like, Season 4 is pretty good. It definitely has a different, shift in direction and things like that from, like, the mainline series and things like that. I say that as if it's not mainline, but you know what I mean. Like, the original trilogy season is pretty great, but man, Season 4, even Season 5 has some really great episodes too. I'd say Season 5 is probably the last one that has, like, some very solid episodes, and then beyond that is where it really starts to go downhill. I've seen a few episodes beyond that were still pretty decent. There's one, I don't remember which season it is, but there's one where SpongeBob was, like, starting to get obsessed with giving everybody thumbs ups and things like that. I actually really liked that one. That was pretty good, too. And the cool thing is that, like, they recently came out with SpongeBob the Cosmic Shake, and that game is really good. I love that game so much. Like, I wouldn't say it's, like, a game of the year or anything like that, but it's actually a really solid platformer. It's like a spiritual successor to Battle for Bikini Bottom, which I know a lot of people would probably say should have been done like 10, 20 years ago, but honestly, it's still a pretty solid game. Like, if you just picture it as something that would have come out in that era, like, it's still a pretty good game. Like, even compared to some platformers nowadays. Like, it's not like Odyssey comparisons or anything like that, but it's still a pretty good game. I liked it a lot. I haven't finished it yet, though, so I don't know if the later parts get bad or anything like that. Because there definitely are a lot of games out there where I remember even saying in videos that, man, this game is so good, I'm really excited about it, it's super epic and awesome. But then I continued playing through it, and I was like, oh, wait. Only the beginning was epic and awesome, the rest of it kind of falls flat, and that's unfortunate. I can't think of an example off the top of my head, but I know I've talked about a couple of things like that in videos. This isn't quite to the same degree, but I remember saying Astro Chain was like a Game of the Year contender for 2019. I think I went as far as to say that if it wasn't for my bias for Link's Awakening, it would have been Game of the Year 2019 for me. And I still agree with that sentiment for the most part. It's just that I didn't actually finish the game. I've gotten back into it recently, and I remember why I stopped playing it, because like there's a fairly chunky part in the middle of it that kind of slows down a bit. But it's still pretty good. Like, I still say Astral Chain is very good. Like, if you like Bayonetta to any degree or anything like that, or even Nier Automata, like, definitely check out Astral Chain if you never got the chance to. I don't think we won this one. We weren't really able to push them further back or anything like that. So, yeah, no. We had no hope. Is my audio okay? Is my audio okay? The game audio might not be easily hearable. Is it picking up anything in the game audio? Hold on a second. Please excuse me for a moment. I'm gonna adjust my audio settings. Alright, what is going on? I don't think it's picking up anything from the game. OBS. OBS, what are you doing? Why isn't it picking up my game audio? It was. Am I crazy or like it was picking up the intermission music, right? Because that's on the same audio channel on OBS, so I don't know what's going on with that. Let me try something real quick. Yeah, it's still showing up. What's going on? Why? Huh? What? Huh? What? Huh? Testing, 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 testing. Hopefully it's working now. Alright. I don't know what was going on. So, like, it was the same audio settings as I had for the Animal Crossing stream a couple days ago, and it was working just fine then. I don't know what was going on, but, like, I bumped up the audio on my game capture window by a lot. Hopefully you can still hear everything. Let's just continue onward and hope for the best. I am very sorry about that, like... That was super weird. Like, I noticed that the soundbar on OBS wasn't going at all for the game audio, and it was like, what? It was on the same audio thing as the intermission thing, so I don't know what's going on with that. But it's all working now. Hopefully. Maybe. Sort of. Kind of. That's like the biggest pet peeve I have when it comes to like technical stuff is when you don't change any settings, but it's working differently. Like, that's the bane of my existence when it comes to programming in general, because you'll make the code, and you'd think everything is set up properly, like the same functions and everything, and then you try using that code in another system, and it's not working, and you're like skimming through like a bunch of code trying to figure out what went wrong. More often than not, it's either a semicolon that was misplaced or a function that wasn't properly initialized. That's always the fun part of programming. That's always my favorite part. I love it when that happens. And by love it, I mean it is my favorite thing. Love does not compare to my feelings of programming functions. It's really amazing because, like, when I remember in my earlier days in college and things like that, I would talk about my theater classes way more often than I ever talked about my programming classes. And the thing is, most programming classes didn't really have that many interesting stories. Like, there were a couple of fun things here and there and stuff like that. Like, probably one of my favorite stories from a programming class, there's some assistants for the professor, and they were really obnoxious. They would, like, heckle the teacher every now and then, and she'd heckle them back and things like that. And there was one point where one of the assistants was leaving for another class that day, and then the one assistant guy was talking. So he was trying to say goodbye, but it was like, good riddance. And then, like, yeah, it was... that was an ink explosion. That was a booyah bomb, as the cool kids say. I wish that I could be like the cool squids. Man, I had that in my notes for a parody song for Splatoon 3 verses, and I never used it. Merciless Demon King Lava. Something tells me we're not doing too well. I can't quite put my finger on it. Can't quite put my finger on it, but I think we might be losing horribly. 1 minute left, 1 minute left. Okay, let's talk about more nonsense. So, I have a fun story that happened earlier. You know how Karens are a thing in today's society? Yeah, I ran into one earlier when I was at Walmart. And normally I'm not a very violent person. But I swear, when I saw this person doing this thing, I legitimately wanted to punch her stupid face. And I don't condone violence or anything like that. Like, you definitely shouldn't have punched people. But I seriously wanted to. So, we're in, you know, at Walmart, it has like a bunch of lines and things like that for checking out. So, this person has like a huge shopping cart that's filled with like, I don't know, like 50 plus items and things like that. It would have taken like a really long time to go through them all. But I was like, okay, I'm gonna wait. I'll wait my turn. I'm not in a super big hurry. It'll be fine. I'm not in a hurry. And so, where am I going with this? So there's a person ahead of us, and there's another aisle next to us, and like we both have lines. And there was a family who had been waiting in this other line for a little while. I don't know how long they've been there, but I know for a fact they were there longer than the person who was in front of me. And I had already been in that line for a little while now. So after the person ahead of us is about to check out, the Karen sees the people had finished checking out in the line next to us. She moves the shopping cart in front of the family in the line next to us. And the one mother calls out to them, was like, hey, excuse me, I don't remember exactly what she says, but she calls out to her saying that she'd been in line, and the Karen interrupts her and is like, well, we'd been here longer. It's our turn now. Something like that. It was really annoying. And you could just tell the mother is already exhausted. She has like a family and things like that with little kids, and you could tell the kids were starting to get a bit restless and things like that. You could just tell that she's already really exhausted. And seeing this super rude, nosy person just like dart in front of her and things like that. Like I was seriously thinking like, okay, I can see that they're leaving that line already. I can understand why. That's just so selfish. If she comes over to this line, there's only like one person behind me, but if that person had come into the line before us, I would have asked if she wanted to move ahead of me, because again, I wasn't in a very big hurry. It was her turn. It was just that stupid Karen was just being a jerk face. Like, I had seriously, like, if I saw her again or anything like that, I would have called her out on it, saying something along the lines of, hey, I saw what you did to that family over there, and say what you will about being next in line, but that's not how lines work. That was a separate line that you just cut in. Ooh, Museum D'Alfonsino. So, a bit of a fun story about this one. So, yeah, in the first game, there were statues of Inklings and things like that. And during Splatfest, they would make the same noise that the Collectos boss would make during its animation in Skyward Sword. And not a lot of people already got a chance to see it in-game because the Museum D'Alfonsino didn't really appear a whole lot during Splatfest in the first game. It's not really even easily accessible or anything like that. But when I saw that the stage was going to return to this game, I was really excited to see if the noises are still going to be there. The statues are gone. Those Inkling statues are gone. They're not in this version, and that makes me really sad. I think you can see like an early draft version of those statues, like they were being made at Inkblot Art Academy, which is a pretty cool detail. But yeah, it's unfortunate. I'm gonna splat you, or you'll get splatted by somebody else, and I'm gonna get splatted right here. Alright, we splatted kitty face. But yeah, like, probably a little bit of a spoiler, but that detail, that trivia fact about the statues, that's going to be mentioned in the next Gaming Gallery video. I think we announced it already, but the basic idea is that it's going to be like a late Halloween special version video thingy, talking about like creepy Nintendo trivia. And it's been an interesting one to edit. So like, I wanted to have it done by today, or tomorrow. Is it Saturday? Yeah, today's Saturday. I wanted to have it done by today, but I was having a bit of a trouble getting some footage for it, so it's gonna hopefully come out sooner rather than later. And I'm also juggling Happy Home Paradise and a couple other things as well, so yeah, that's kind of like my big problem with editing that I really should work on is I'll get back into the groove of making videos and I'd be really excited to catch up on long overdue things, but then I start working on too many of them at once. I'm like, ow, I'm burned out again. I should probably stop getting into this habit. Yeah, like, so that's one big reason why last year I'd kind of started, like, not really focusing too much on having, like, multiple ongoing Let's Plays at the same time. Like, we do still have ongoing, like, multiple projects at once, but what I mean is, like, having, like, starting up a main and a side project at the same time. So my current mindset with Let's Plays now is that we'll have like an ongoing project that'll be uploaded on a when it's done schedule, and the main project will be like the new Let's Play. So, like going into 2024, for example, our first set of projects is going to be Pikmin 2 being the main project, and Breath of the Wild being the when it's done thing. So that's my current mindset. We have not won a single game this entire night. Alright, so I'm gonna back out of the room and see if we can find another matchmaking thingy that's a little bit more favorable to us? Is that the best term I want to use? I don't know. I just want to back out of the room and try another thing. We were the least valuable team member! What are you talking about? We were awesome during that match. So one thing that I'm noticing about this game that I think is kind of a big reason why I haven't played as much of Splatoon 3 as I did for Splatoon 2. Not just because of the fact that I'm working now, but I think the big thing about it is that, does anybody else get the feeling with digital games that you just don't feel as motivated to play through them as you do if you had a physical version? Because that's something that I've been noticing a lot lately. So I'm been getting a lot more digital games the past couple of years, simply because it's not the easiest thing in the world for me to go to the game store. So more often than not, I've been getting digital games instead. And I've been noticing that when I get a physical game, I'm more inclined to play through it more often. Like recently, I got Super Mario Bros. Wonder, and that was the first physical game that I've gotten in a while. I marathoned that game. Like, it's not just for the fact that I absolutely loved Mario Bros. Wonder. That game was so good. And the fact that I was also playing through a good chunk of it with a friend of mine. But, like, I felt a lot more inclined to play through it than I probably would if I was just playing a digital version. And I can't quite put my finger on it. But, like, for games this year, for example, Tears of the Kingdom, I'm just not very motivated to play through that one. It might also not help with the fact that I'm not a big fan of Tears of the Kingdom. This is gonna be a very controversial opinion, but yeah, I'm not too fond of Tears of the Kingdom. It's a very weird situation because I do like that game. I know it's a good game. It is awesome. For me specifically, it has a lot of baggage. It has a lot of stuff that happened surrounding the game's release in my personal life that's hard for me to overlook. So, it's not really something that I can easily look over. It's one of those things where, like, a game comes out and it's great, but you're going through, like, a tough time in your real life, and it's hard to disassociate those memories from it. But yeah, it was certainly a thing. And also the fact that there's just like a lot of really little things in Tears of the Kingdom that really bug me. You know what? Let's go into it. Let's talk about why Tears of the Kingdom annoys me so much. So, the entire time it was being marketed, they were treating it like it was a Breath of the Wild sequel. There's barely any Breath of the Wild references in the entire game. Like, there's nothing that connects the stories. The only connections you'll get are, like, little details here and there that you may get from a character in the background who might mention the Calamity at some point. But it's like, game. The Calamity was an ongoing thing that happened for 100 years. Everybody who lived in the Breath of the Wild Hyrule lived in that world. And it's over and nobody mentions it anymore. I won't go into too many more details because this is like a big tangent that I could go on for a long time. But the other big thing that's really annoying me about Tears of the Kingdom is the fact that like, without trying to avoid spoilers and things like that, there's a system in the game where characters can follow you. The setup for using their abilities is stupid. So, here's the thing. In Breath of the Wild, the champions, their abilities were activated from... Okay, what is going on with us in this game? Seriously, what is going on with this in this game? We are having just the worst luck in the world. Is this what I get for bad-mouthing Tears of the Kingdom? Okay, yeah, I'm gonna back out of the game. It's not gonna help at all, but just for the sake of me feeling better, I'm gonna close the game after this to go back into it and see if that helps anything. Because, my god, the matchmaking has been so one-sided. But yeah, going back to complaining about Tears of the Kingdom. So, the champions in Breath of the Wild were activated, like, their abilities were activated from specific things happening. So, like, Urbosa's Fury was activated by charging up a spin attack. Revali's Gale was activated by holding the jump button, which would cause the Wind Geyser to go up. Because Grace activated automatically if you died, and Dirk's Protection activated when you had the shield up. It was so simple. It was so simple. It was the most seamless system in the world for having something like that. Tears of the Kingdom? Your party follows you around, and you have to physically go to them, talk to them, and then activate the power. And it's like, it's not such a bad idea in concept. And if you only have 2 of them active at a time, that seems like to be the sweet spot. But if you're trying to have all of them activated at once for like a tough boss fight, for example, where you don't really know which ability you're going to need, they run all over the place. They run all over the place. The one you need is on the other side of the area at all times. It's really obnoxious trying to figure out where they are. And it's like, this would have been so much easier if they just mapped it to a button. If they just mapped the partner ability to a button. And the thing is, they do that with your regular abilities. So Ascend on a button. The Fusion on a button. They don't do that for the partners. And it's like, you already have this stuff. Not only do you have the system already in Tears of the Kingdom with the, like the arm magic ability thingy, but one of the biggest defining things about the 3D Zelda games before this was the fact that you had the item inventory thingy to map an item to a button. That would have worked perfectly for the partners. It's basically screaming to use it. But no, they want to do away with Zelda traditions and make everything worse. And here's the thing. Tears of the Kingdom, there's a part in the game that made me so angry. I hated this part so much. This part is easily the worst moment I have ever played in a Zelda game. Not just a 3D Zelda game. In any Zelda game I've ever played. And I'm talking about Zelda 2. I played through that game. You saw how annoyed I got during the Game & Watch Let's Play. It made me so angry at the game. It made me hate it so much that I started questioning if I even liked Breath of the Wild in the first place. After finishing that part, I went back to Breath of the Wild for a little bit, kind of to have like a palate cleanse, but also to just kind of like test the waters for some things I'm planning for upcoming Breath of the Wild videos. And Breath of the Wild is still awesome. I love that game. It's not for everybody, and I respect that, but I love that game. And my thing is, Tears of the Kingdom probably is going to be one of the games where it's just a bad game at a bad time right now. Oh, okay, not a bad game. It's a good game at a bad time, that's what I'm trying to say. So maybe I'll revisit it a couple years down the road and things like that, and it'll finally click that the game is great. But just right now, I'm just gonna come out and say it. Tears of the Kingdom is my least favorite 3D Zelda game, and it's not even close. Before this was Twilight Princess, and that was purely only because there was only like 2 dungeons I didn't like, and like everything that I thought Tears of the Kingdom did great, I thought other 3D Zelda games did better. Tears of the Kingdom just pisses me off. Alright, let's talk about happy things, like the fact that we are doing terrible today in Splatoon land. Okay, I cannot get anything right now. I might change weapons because we've just not been having good luck with the blah blah blur. So I might change weapons after this round. This has just been brutal. I would say this is karma for bad mouthing Tears of the Kingdom this stream, but worth it. Like, the funny thing is, like, the stream would have started a bit sooner, honestly, but, like, the talker artist and I got talking about Zelda stuff for a bit, because, like, I shared a meme picture. I won't say what it is because it's a bit of a spoiler, but, like, and then we started talking about Tears of the Kingdom for a little bit, and the funny thing is, like, we have the exact opposite opinions when it comes to the open world style games, because, like, a talker artist absolutely hates Breath of the Wild. And I love Breath of the Wild, but like, she likes Tears of the Kingdom. I hate Tears of the Kingdom. So, it's kind of, it leads to some pretty fun conversations and things like that. If I were to rank the 3 Zelda games, it'd probably go like Majora's Mask, Skyward Sword, Wind Waker. I'm gonna say Twilight Princess is number 4. It used to be bottom, but honestly, like, the thing is, I don't know if that's a really fair thing to say, because Ocarina of Time is the only one that I've never actually finished. And it's definitely grown on me over years. Like, I've gotten a lot more appreciation of Twilight Princess over the years and things like that, and that might be the case with Tears of the Kingdom too. Like, I might, like, come back to it down the road and be like, what even got us that time? What even got us that time? There was no Autobomb! There was no Autobomb! I don't care what anyone says! There was no Autobomb! How many evolved? Hi! I see you! I saw your comment at the end of the last stream and it felt super bad because I already closed the stream before I saw that. I don't know how long you've been here, but hi! Unival says, I guess you didn't vibe with Tears of the Kingdom either, huh? I'm noticing a lot more people in general have just been saying that they, like, haven't really been, like, Tears of the Kingdom, it seems like it's one of those games where it was like, when it first came out, like, everybody was, like, in that magical moment of, like, oh my god, this is the coolest game ever, I can build a plane. But then, like, recently it's kind of, the conversation has kind of gotten a bit sour and things like that. I'm curious if that's, if, like, if it's clicking with everybody, that the game might not be as epic as everyone was thinking at first. I don't know exactly, but yeah. Neve also has a kind of mixed feelings on both Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild. That's fair. That's totally fair. Like, it's definitely a different style of Zelda. Like, I don't agree with the sentiment that Breath of the Wild ruined Zelda. I definitely can't see where it might be difficult to make another more traditional 3D Zelda game going forward, but the thing is, here's the difference. So, even if it did change the Zelda series by a drastic degree, it didn't impact it the same way something like Tomb Raider 2013 or Paper Mario Sticker Star did. So, like, Tomb Raider 2013, I say that one impacted it in a generally good way. Even if it wasn't my cup of tea, and I think it did damage the series to a pretty bad degree. The thing is, it is still a good game. It was just a different style of Tomb Raider game than what I personally wanted. And then Paper Mario Sticker Star not only abandoned its traditional roots and kind of like it was a bit of a reboot for the series, like Tomb Raider 2013 was, but yeah, Sticker Star is a thing. We all know Sticker Star. We all know that one. It, like, abandoned its roots and then didn't do anything that, like, anybody liked, and then did that 3 games in a row. I liked Origami King. Disclaimer. I really like Origami King. It's probably my 3rd favorite Paper Mario game. But, yeah. But, like, going back to Zelda and things like that, the reason why I'd make the argument that it didn't completely ruin the Zelda series is because we've had other Zelda games in different styles since then. So, like, we still got the 2D Zelda games, the Link's Awakening remake, which, yeah, it is a remake, but it is still a 2D Zelda game that was, like, made from the ground up and things like that. We also got spin-offs like Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity and things like that. So, I don't think it totally changed the series in a way that can never be redeemed or anything like that. I just think it's, like, a different style of game. And my personal belief is that the next 3D Zelda game, it may not be like a traditional 3D game, but I do think it will probably try to go back more towards the roots of it. Because, like, Skyward Sword is already 10 years old. So, I think enough time has passed to where they'd want to try something a bit more traditional again, but maybe keep a few open world routes. So, like, if I were to personally make the next 3D Zelda game, what I would personally do would be to have it still set in open world, but not make it as big as Breath of the Wild. And it would still be open, but like the story segments and things like that would gradually reveal themselves over time. So like let's say the story of the next 3D Zelda game is about Ganondorf eating a taco and you want him to try to eat a burrito instead. So you start off the game in Hyrule Castle and then you see Ganondorf out in the world going to Taco Bell or something like that. And this is a really stupid story. This is why I don't write Zelda stories. So Ganondorf is going to Taco Bell. That's his big evil goal. And as you go across Kakariko Village, you start seeing why he wanted a taco and not a burrito. And, like, little things here and there kind of, like, build up the world, and then, like as you continue exploring, you get the tools necessary to continue exploring the other worlds, other kingdom, parts of the kingdom. So, you can still go there, it's just that when you get those tools from after story progress, it becomes a lot easier, is basically what I'm trying to say. Think of it like Skyward Sword. Think of it how, like in Skyward Sword, those parts of Faron Woods or Elden Volcano or the Lane River Desert, how those parts of the desert of the worlds are always there. It's just that you get the tools necessary to actually reach those areas later on. But think of it like that, except you do have the tools to always get there, but you get stuff from the story that makes it easier. So something along those lines. Minival says, I got here right when you started ranting about Tears of the Kingdom. Attacker says, I can't stay since I'm watching Survivor with friends, but if the stream is going well, have fun. Bye, Attacker Artist! Oh yeah, you won! Yay! Minival says, a friend let me borrow Tears of the Kingdom for a bit. It's not a bad game, it just feels like Breath of the Wild, but with some extra bells and whistles. Like, that's not a bad thing, but honestly, meh, in my opinion. Yeah, I can agree with that. I don't agree with the mindset that Tears of the Kingdom could have been Breath of the Wild DLC, because there is so much more to the game. But at the same time, it kind of feels like a weird middle ground where it adds to Breath of the Wild, but doesn't fix it. So, like, one of my biggest issues with Tears of the Kingdom is the fact that a lot of the stuff that you got from Breath of the Wild, it kind of feels like you have some more necessary steps to actually do it. So, if you want like a flame blade, for example, you have to fuse it. Whereas in Breath of the Wild, you can just find a flame blade out in the world. Or if you want like fire arrows or something like that, you gotta fuse with like a chili pepper. And while it is cool in Tears of the Kingdom how you have more options and things like that, there's a lot of times where I just wish I had a fire arrow, because when you're trying to swap between items to fuse with a bow, there isn't really a way to save items that you'd want to quickly switch to. You just gotta like scroll through everything sticker star style, and sticker star is not something you want compared to. Ganondorf walks towards Taco Bell, but you walk up to him and say, bro, you can do better. World-ending crisis averted. Ironically, I've been eating a lot more Taco Bell this year. It's weird because, like, Taco Bell, it's not my first choice for a fast food place, but honestly, I think I've probably eaten there more than any other restaurant this year. And it's funny because, like, a lot of my favorite stories with Mini Beanie happened at a Taco Bell. So, like, my sister, we'd go through the drive-thru a lot, and there's this one time where, oh no! Disconnect! Nintendo Switch Online! $20 a year! Or $50 a year if you do the expansion thingy. Joy. Anyway, yeah. So we go to the drive-thru and oh god, I always love this story. So we're going to the drive-thru, and when we get to the intercom menu thingy, the lady at the register is like, "Welcome to Taco Bell. Can I take your order?" All right. Welcome to Taco Bell. What would you like? And the Mini Beanie's like, I would like some food, please. What? Girl, you come to the wrong place. And there was another time, this was a separate Taco Bell, where we were going through the drive-thru, and, so, like, it's my two sisters, my mom, and myself. We're all in the car together, so there's 4 of us, and we all want quesadillas. So, we go through the drive-thru, and Mini Beanie's like, I would like 4 quesadillas, please. What? Girl, you hungry? man, like I have so many drive-through stories with Meanie Beanie. One of my favorite traditions that we do together was that if we ever went to get food or anything like that, we'd always sneak off to get like secret French fries. So like if we were getting McDonald's for everybody, like we'd always get like an extra thing of French fries that we'd like eat on the way home. That was always a fun time. Like I haven't really done this recently, but I've been thinking about doing it now. Where like if I do DoorDash from McDonald's or something like that, like to keep that tradition alive, I would like get an extra thing of secret fries. Like I think that'd be a pretty fun thing to do. Yeah, I agree. I like Taco Bell. I just prefer other things. Like my favorite fast food restaurant is Dairy Queen. I actually had Dairy Queen during the Animal Crossing stream a couple days ago. That's usually my go-to if I'm going for fast food or anything like that. I've been trying not to do too much fast food lately, though, because it definitely does eat into your budget. So, like, especially if you're doing DoorDash, like, that's really expensive to do. So, like, I've been trying to tell myself not to DoorDash as much, because I remember I got really bad at it during, like, 2020 or something like that, where I, like, DoorDash every single day. So, I've been getting a lot better about it. Like, nowadays, it's probably, like, once or twice a week or so, and I definitely want to try to cut that back to, like, maybe once every other week. That's something that I'm trying to do, where, like, lately my mindset is that, okay, today is payday. It was a good payday. I'm going to treat myself a little bit to DoorDash. But now I'm going to try to get into the mindset of, okay, it's been a couple weeks. We've been good. We'll do one. And eventually, like, I do want to, like, significantly cut back even further than that. It's just easier said than done. Because, like, you do get into the habit of things, and just the easiness of it is what really gets you. I will say, though, that it has been easier to try avoiding it because I've had some not great DoorDash and Uber experiences lately. So, like, I was Ubering to Walmart earlier today to get groceries before the stream, and the driver wanted me to put the groceries into the car in the middle of the driveway. Like, in the middle of the area where there were still cars going by. Like, he kept trying to signal to me to go over there. It got really rude to me when I was trying to explain, dude, you're in the middle of the street. Can you please come around? There's also an incident the other day where, like, I was trying to DoorDash Dairy Queen before the stream. And, like, I don't know what exactly was going on with it, but the car, like, the little tracker thingy that shows where the DoorDash is, the car, like, didn't move for, like, 40 minutes. And, like, I tried reaching out to them to see what was going on, but, like, I never got a reply to that. So they refunded that, so that was pretty nice, but it was still kind of annoying because I felt pretty lightheaded during the stream because I wasn't really able to eat that much before. And, like, I always eat something, at least a little snack or something like that before the stream, so I have enough energy to go on and things like that. But, yeah, it was definitely not a very pleasant experience. Okay, I don't know if the matchmaking changed at all or anything like that, but I will say, closing the game and going back into it, I think did help a little bit. Of course, when I say that we're probably gonna lose, but it'll still be an adventure. Evolve says I tend to go for A&W most of the time. A&W is good. I really like A&W. If I still lived in the West Coast, though, my go-to choice would have been, like, In-N-Out, if I wanted to do something in that style. Like, man, In-N-Out, they're awesome. I have an awkward Uber story. Not related to food, though. If you'd like to share it, then I'd like to hear it. If you don't want to share it, though, that's perfectly okay, though. What are some of the stories I could tell? Oh, this is a big one. So, fun story, I almost died in an Uber once. So, there was one time where it was really late at night. I just gotten off work and things like that, and like I was trying to, like my family, like this was around the time when I was starting to work for Disney. By the time I was getting ready to go back to, like my family was in town to help me get settled in. I was already moving into the Disney College Program dorm. I lived there for a couple of days at this point, and I would, like my family would go to the parks and things like that. Then we'd go back to the hotel, watch a movie or something like that, and then I'd head back home. And there was one time where I was leaving around 1 in the morning or something like that, and I called an Uber to help me get back to the dorm, and they get there, and by the time like I head out to the parking area, the guy is already asleep. Like the guy is sleeping behind the wheel and things like that, and I'm heavily considering canceling this Uber ride, but when I looked into it, like I was gonna get charged a fee for canceling it because the guy was already there. So I was like, okay, I'm not sure if I want to do this, but I do need to get home because I work in the morning. So, yeah. The guy fell asleep again while driving, and he was turning at this point, and like I could see like him kind of like dozing off and things like that. And the car like nearly crashes into the wall and things like that. We were going really fast. We were going way too fast to be going through like a four-way intersection. But if we had hit the wall, with me being on the other side of the car, I would have turned into a pancake against the wall. So, yeah. I contacted Uber after that, and they gave me a refund, and I don't like Uber. It's unfortunate that it's necessary for me because, like, I was in the habit of riding a bike to work most days, but I kind of got out of that habit, unfortunately, during the later parts of the summer because it just got way too hot for that. But I'm going to try to get back into doing it a bit more often now. But yeah, if it weren't for the fact that I can't drive, I would never Uber ever again. I am working to get my license soon, so hopefully sooner than later I can not ever Uber ever again in my entire life ever. I'm just gonna say that right now. Get away from me! Get away from me! Ouchie! Oh no! Danger! Danger is my middle name. Ouch. Danger is not my middle name anymore. I am changing it. My new middle name shall be Cheesecake. All shall fear Cheesecake. Cheesecake Factory is another restaurant. So, man, like, this isn't much of a story, but I do want to say that, like, the time that, like, everybody on game, between myself, James Rose, Groups Even Bang Arma, the time we went to the Cheesecake Factory, that's probably one of my favorite restaurant going experiences ever. Wow, that Uber driver sounds like a jerk. I'm sorry about that, Mini Evolved. That's another big pet peeve I have when it comes to Uber drivers, is when they're like constantly asking you which way to go. Because like they have, like every Uber driver I've ever ridden with, maybe some of them don't have it, but every Uber driver I've ever ridden with has like a GPS thingy telling them which way to go. And I do understand, some areas are a bit more difficult to navigate than others, even with the GPS and things like that. Like, it's not easy navigating backstage at Disney, even if you know where you're going and things like that. But the thing is, if they're asking you which way to go, like, once or twice, like, just to double check something, that's fine. I don't care about that. It's when they do it every single time. It's like, dude, you have your GPS right in front of you. Would it really kill you to look down and see that you need to turn to the next intersection? And there's one time that was really annoying where this person, I swear, was going out of their way to make every wrong turn possible, even when I was telling them which way to go. Like, I was being patient with them. They ask, left or right? Left. They turn right. And it's like, dude! 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 I do feel bad for complaining about Uber drivers and things like that, because Grippers Gaming is an Uber driver. I think, does he do that or DoorDash? I don't know if he does one or both, but, like, he does, no, it's DoorDash. Like, he does DoorDash and things like that, and I feel bad whenever I complain about things like that, because I know he works hard too, and, like, and the thing is, like, I've seen Green Grippers Gaming drive, like, when we were in Seattle and things like that, he drove my family's car. So, like, I know he's a good driver, and I trust his worth that he would be a good driver and things like that. But it's these, like, super obnoxious ones who, I don't know. It's a bit of a conundrum. Dude, I miss those guys so much. So, like, the last time that, like, all four of us were on a trip together and things like that was that PAX trip, because last year, we only really did, like, 2 trips and things like that. The first one was when James came to visit me, because he and I were both doing the Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind preview. And a couple months later, we were all supposed to go to PAX, but then last minute, like, James and I, like, suddenly weren't able to make it all the way to Seattle, so we decided to change our plans to go to Florida instead. But then, like, Pancake wasn't able to make it. And then this year, we were all going to go to California together, but then Cobra couldn't make it last minute. And then we were all supposed to go to Seattle for PAX this year, but then I couldn't make it. So I kind of want to tease James about this, because, like, I want to tease it so, like, if we, for the next time that we're all four planning a trip together, I want to tease James and say something along the lines of, so, Pancake couldn't make it to Florida, Cobra couldn't make it to California, and I couldn't make it to Seattle. Now it's your turn to not make it. Times like this make me wish I could see the stream chat in the corner of my screen. But it's a different screen, I have to look down at my laptop. Someday I'll get, like, a more fancy, high-tech streaming setup. But this is just a bit more of a fun, casual thing, so I'm not too worried about it, but at some point it'd be nice to have a bit more fancy stuff. Yeah, it's reading a story, it's really unfortunate when people just don't understand yet you have, like, a disability and things like that. So, like, one thing that really annoys me is when, like, I don't tell a whole lot of people about my autism, because bad experiences in the past. That's the short version of that story. But one thing that really gets under my skin whenever I do tell somebody is when they say something along the lines of, "Oh, you don't look autistic," or, "What are you talking about? You seem like a normal person," and things like that. It's like, you do know masking is a thing, right? So, like, if I were to say anything. Like, like, the way that I talk in videos and things like that, this is probably the closest that like, talking in videos and things like that is probably the closest to, like, the real me and things like that, compared to, like, if I'm at work and I feel like I have to mask and things like that to get through the day. For those of you who don't know, basically what masking means is, like, putting on a persona that you are quote-unquote normal, rather than having, like, your little things. Like, a lot of my little things, for example, like, I do a lot of handshaking and things like that. So, like, if you ever played Xenoblade Chronicles 2, for example, Poppy has this animation where she, like, waves her hands around and things like that. I do that a lot. I, like, bounce on my feet and things. Like, just a lot of really little things in here and there. So, like, if I ever feel like I'm in a situation where I need a mask and things like that, that's something that I'm like, okay, alright. I'm in an environment where people aren't going to understand why I do these things, so, like, I need to concentrate extra hard to make sure I don't do these weird little things, but I am going to be doing these weird little things anyway, because I am a weird little thing. This is a very pleasing color combination. Hey! That hurt my feelings. Do you hear that? You hurt my feelings. You're gonna make me cry. Man, I love this stage so much, though. Like, the funny thing about Bizarre Alfonsino was that this was kind of like a sniper haven, like the undercover sniper haven in the first game. Because certain E leaders would be able to reach the entirety of the central area. Like, Murray Towers had a lot of vantage points for snipers, but I always considered this one to be a bit more evil when it came to snipers. Because, like, with Murray Towers, at least you had those railings that would protect you if you were in squid form and things like that. So if you had a good weapon like a heavy splatling or a blobbler, or not a slosher, it wouldn't be too difficult to know where to hide and things like that. Like, I tried explaining this during my first Splatoon Let's Play. I didn't really do a very good job about that, though, so that was a bit on the unfortunate side, though. I do want to improve on that, because, like, when it comes to giving advice in these games, I feel like, not so much in Splatoon 2, but definitely in the first game, if I was trying to give genuine advice, I feel like I wasn't very good at it. Because, like, I was also, in the moment, trying to play through an online match and things like that, so I think when the time comes to eventually cover Splatoon 3, I definitely want to, like, have a bit more of a solid list of notes that I'd want to have with me, so that I can, like, glance down on my computer during a moment like this, where it's respawning and things like that, so I can see, okay, now would be a good opportunity to talk about respawn time. Okay, so this is how much time it's going to take for you to respawn. You don't always want to immediately jump back to one of your other Inklings, because you may notice that your teammate might be in danger, so you might not want to do that. Or just things like that. Like, yeah, I'm not good at explaining things. I am not good at explaining things one bit. Mevo says that chat reading is tough. That's partly why I use TTS. Is that what you use? Because, like, I know on your streams, like you have, like, a thing where the stream chat would, like, do a text-to-speech thing, which is always pretty cool. I always like how whenever, like, I'm on your stream and, like, I'm writing something, it always, like, spell out the letters and numbers and things like that. Like, L8R, G8R, 2U says Marina is best waifu. Because, like, it makes sense. My username is stupid. Text-to-speech doesn't know how to say Lady or to you. I always found it amusing, though. Meevolve says, you don't look insert thing here. Like, what does that even mean? Yeah. Yeah, that's a big pet peeve of mine. I've had people tell me that I look like a normal person before. My only response was, I am a normal person. They just awkwardly respond with, oh, and there just be silence. Yeah. Because, like, the big thing with, like, autism in general is that it's a very wide spectrum. So, you have a lot of people, like myself, who are, like, on the spectrum, and for the most part, we can function independently. But then there would just be days where we are just shut down, and it is difficult to get through the day, and things like that. Like, one big thing I've been suffering from a lot this year was, like, burnout. Because I work in a very social environment, I'm around people all the time and things like that, and I just kind of feel very socially wiped out. And the problem with that is that if I do get into that mindset, then it gets harder to feel motivated to work on projects, and that's kind of something that impacts videos a lot. So that is something that I am trying to work on. It's just very difficult for me. Oh, wait! That person's splat tag was cute. It was tag along Agent 8. Oh, that's cute. Man, I'm excited for Side Order. I don't remember exactly when Side Order is supposed to be coming out, but I am so excited for it. Because, like, the trailer looked really cool. I think from what it looks like, it's going to basically be like a battle gauntlet mode. So, like, I imagine, like, you go through the floors and things like that, and it gives you, like, waves of enemies. And I'm sure it'll be fun. Like, I'm pretty excited for it. I am a little worried that it might feel a bit more repetitive if they are going the Battle Gauntlet route. Because, like, Hyrule Warriors does that too with the Adventure Mode maps, and that's the big reason why I never really finished Adventure Mode, because it's pretty fun for a little bit, but if you're trying to binge play through it, it gets very repetitive, so that's what I'm a little bit worried about with Side Order. I'm sure it'd be pretty fun. I have ideas for, like, how I would structure a Splatoon 3 Let's Play if I were to start covering it now, not taking Side Order into account. But the big thing I'm excited about Side Order is that after the game does come out, it'll, like, really help me see what structure is going to work for the Let's Play. So, like, the Let's Play itself could start a while ago. Like, I'm going back and forth over whether or not I want the Let's Play to start during these streams. Because, like, that was one thing that I wanted to do for Splatoon 2, where I wanted to have the Let's Play start as Splatfest was still ongoing. And we did manage to do that. It's just, we kind of cut it close because the Let's Play started, I think, in April 2019, and the last Splatfest was in August. So I don't know exactly when Splatfest are going to be ending for this game, but it sounds like it might end the same time that the catalog finishes, and I believe they did say that was going to be 2 years after launch, so my best guess is that the last one will probably be like September this year. Yeah, it's kind of pointless to be vague and cryptic about potential Splatoon 3 Let's Play. It's obvious at this point. It's going to happen. I don't know when. It's not going to be the next one. Like, I can at least 100% confirm Splatoon 3 is not the next Let's Play. So, yeah, it's going to be a little while, but it will happen at some point. Wait, what? Oh my god, that's horrible. I'm so sorry. People accuse you of faking it? That is not cool at all. That is... I'm so sorry. What? That... Oh my... That is... That's evil. I'm speechless. I'm so sorry about that being evolved. Like, you can't feel it, but I'm giving you an imaginary comfort hug through the internet. Because that is not okay for anybody to say that to anyone. I've known people in real life who, like, were going through realizing that they had a bunch of problems and things like that, and somebody in their trust circle was convinced that they were faking it, like they were faking it for attention and things like that, and so like I've seen firsthand what that does to somebody. That is not cool at all. I'm so sorry. You know, says, oh, that's nothing I ever run into so much worse. But the thing is, like, people shouldn't have to run into something like that at all. Like, one big thing that you'll see every now and then is, like, somebody who's in a wheelchair. And, like, most people just assume that somebody who's in a wheelchair has to stay in it forever. Like, they can't move their legs at all or anything like that. But, like, it's like a wide range of of mobility and things like that. So, like, somebody in my family, she's downgraded pretty bad past couple years, but she was able to walk for a while there, but just needed the chair for, like, going grocery shopping or something like that. Like, she could walk to the car just fine, but we need help in the chair. But I've seen people accuse, like, people in wheelchairs of faking it just because, like, they got out of the chair for, like, a split second or something like that. And it's like, just because they can get out of the chair for a moment and, like, maybe reach something on the shelf or do something like that doesn't mean that they're faking it. It just means that their mobility is much different than what you assumed it was. That person's name is Froggy. Froggy? That was amusing. Man, I want to finish Sonic Adventure. I didn't play a whole lot of it, but I really want to finish Sonic Adventure and things like that. A part of me is kind of wondering if it might be a fun stream to, like, play through it blind. Because, like, Big the Cat, you've heard all the stories about Big the Cat, and I've watched the Runway Guys Let's Play of it, and the thing is, Big the Cat just kind of seems like that segment that's so bad it's good. Like, it's just like a thing that's easy to make fun of. I feel like I'd have a lot more fun with it if I was playing with somebody, like, who could commentate alongside with me. But, yeah, like, that was an idea, that was something that I was thinking about not too long ago. I don't know if I'd ever want to go through with it, though, because, like, my problem with stream playthroughs is that, like, I feel like I don't want to do stream playthroughs too much for, like, a first time playing through a game, because I feel like that would really limit being able to actually play the game on my own time. So, with something like Paper Mario Sticker Star, like, I was not going to play that game on my own time. But playing through it on stream and things like that, like, it was a lot more fun when we had the streams where, like, Pancake was joining us, because, like, we could bounce off each other and things like that. So, like, I feel like if I were to do something like that, I'd want to have, like, a co-commentator with me. I think the reason why this works fairly well for our channel is that, like, we all know this is going to be used at some point for a Let's Play, but, like, this also isn't really story progress or anything like that. This is just good old Splatoon goodness, and, like, Tour 4 is always a really fun time. Like, I always enjoy playing through Tour 4 and things like that, and these streams kind of, like, give me a bit of an excuse to continue playing and things like that, because, like, I love Splatoon. I just don't always feel motivated to play through it, but these streams have been helping me feel more motivated to play through Splatoon. Like, I feel like even if I'm not as good as this game as I was with Splatoon 2, like, I feel like I've improved a lot more because I've spent so much time with it. Anyone says, honestly, Ace is funny to me at this point. Kind of proves the point that some people don't know squat, and appearances don't always match up to what you think you know. Yeah, that is very true. That like you'll have this assumption of what you think, like somebody should be like and things like that, and like not everybody's perfect about that. Like not everybody's perfect, but the point of the whole thing is to like learn from the experience and like actually and like make the effort to do better if you do make a mistake. Alright, so we're gonna play a round of Summon Run before we do anything else. Like, we could play Tricolor Tour 4, but I'm not in the mood for Tricolor, honestly. Like, Tricolor is fine and all, but I'm not really feeling it tonight, and I do have to end the stream soon. So yeah, like, sorry, future litigator to you. You don't get Tricolor Tour 4 this stream. Sorry. Alright, so as we wait for the thing to continue doing stuff, let's talk a little bit about like what's going on with the channel soon. So, I mentioned before, but just for folks who might not have watched streams or updates or anything like that, Pikmin 2 and Breath of the Wild they're on temporary hiatus because like we're doing Animal Crossing New Horizons Happy Home Paradise, and like that series, I gotta say, I decided to do Happy Home Paradise after we wrapped up Mario Odyssey because I was certain it was gonna be like a fun little victory lap thing for the year to like end off 2023 with. Because I was like, okay, Happy Home Paradise, it's a nice and simple campaign. You don't even really need to decorate the houses that much. It won't take too much time to work on. The videos themselves are fairly easy to edit. It's just that each video takes an hour to record. So, it is a very, very time-consuming thing to do. Like, as it is, like, we did the Let's Record Happy Home Paradise stream not too long ago. We streamed for an hour and a half, and we were only able to get 2 videos out of that. So, yeah, it's definitely probably one of the most time-consuming things I've worked on for a while. It's not nearly as much as like Super Mario Odyssey, where like in an hour and a half recording session, you'll probably get 1 video done. But like I thought it was gonna be a victory lap thing, but it ended up being a lot more time-consuming than initially thought. So yeah, that was a interesting thing. Why is this egg not going to us? Why is that egg not going to us? Oh, come on! Come on, let me do the thing. Let me do the thing. Let me do the thing. Let me play Splatoon. Let me play that thing. 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 Let me play Splatoon. This is a very beautiful background. We appreciate that for a moment. This game's pretty. This is a very pretty game. So that reminds me of something funny. So, I was at the park with a friend the other day, and we were. The funny thing is, like, I just went to the park by myself with the mindset of, okay, we'll go to the park for a little bit. Magic Kingdom's closing early tonight because they're doing the Mickey's Very Merry Christmas thing. So, after the party ends, I'll probably either park hop for one ride or just go home after that and work on videos. But then a friend of mine texted me that she was also in the park too, and I was like, you know what? We'll have fun. We're gonna have fun for once in our life. I'm gonna go to the park with a friend. So, we go to the park, and then we go over to Epcot and go on Soarin' for a little bit. And so, like, the funny thing about this was that there was a girl who was working there who was, like, super pretty. So, like, after we walked past the area where she was working and things like that, I leaned over to my friend, and I was like, she's pretty. And then she looks at me and was like, there's a very good observation. It was amusing. At least she was checking her out too, because yeah, we were both pointing out pretty girls. It was fun. Get away from the there we go. It's like this one thing where like, so on Pancake's channel a while back, we did a video talking about waifus and things like that. It was me, Peg Armin, and D-Tucker Artist. And ever since then, we just messaged each other pictures of waifus and things like that. It's one of my favorite things ever. We have a bucket. It is a very beautiful bucket. Here comes a gorilla. So yeah, like, after I pointed out the pretty girl who was working on Sword and things like that, we started talking about like other character crushes we have and things like that. And we both mutually agreed that, you know, Rey in Star Wars? Yeah, Rey is awesome. I love Rey. We both mutually agreed that Rey in Galaxy's Edge is like also super pretty and stuff like that. Then I was like telling a story that, okay, I'm going to need context for this one. So, there are these bird-like creatures called porgs, and I have one with me, and his name is Esteban. And Esteban has like his own cute little name tag and things like that. So, there's one time where Ray and Chewbacca walked up to my drink card. They saw Esteban's name tag, and they were like pointing it out and things like that. And like in the back of my mind, I'm like, okay, I know I'm a cast member here, but Ray noticed me. Ray noticed me. This is the greatest day of my life. I mean, yeah, she's only really mentioning Esteban, but Ray noticed me. Oh, that is the highlight of my life. Someday I might get married. Someday I might go to every Disney park in the world. And someday I might just get a giant Mr. Saturn plushie, but none of that will compare to the day that Ray noticed me. I see there's a new comment about check it out in a moment when the game is not doing a game. When the game is not doing a game. Ah, there is a thingamabob. That is a tower. Towers are usually band-based structures that are built in an upwards position. They were built in an upwards position because New York land and stuff like that was super expensive in the early 20th century. And so people decided, you know what, I don't want to buy that much land, but I want to make a big building. I know the answer. Let's build vertically, fools! And that was a history lesson. What's other fun history lesson we can do with that? The making of Disneyland. So Walt Disney, he was a guy who liked money and making money and also making movies and stuff, which is, you know, those two things usually go well together. So Walt Disney made a pretty successful company and things like that, but he was like, you know what, I like making movies and all, but let's do something else that's also fun. I know. Let's make a theme park. I'm sitting on a merry-go-round bench watching my daughters will go on a ride, but I want to go on that ride too. I want to go to a ride. Well, fine. I'm gonna make my own ride with blackjack and Nintendo Switches. And that's how Disneyland came to be. Meanwhile says, I feel that. A friend and I are working on Let's Play together, and usually takes us an hour and a half just to record 2 videos. Kind of what happens when 2 blind people LP a visual novel game, though. I was trying to record a video for a visual novel game a couple months back, and I don't know if it's my eyesight fading or something like that, but I was starting to realize I was having a hard time reading it. I think I may need to go to the eye doctor at some point, because like I am noticing that things are getting a little bit more difficult for me to read at certain distances and things like that, so I think my eyesight might not be doing too well. I might want to check on that at some point. Oh, this is cute! Oh, this is super duper cute! It's Kelly and Marie and their team hug! Ah, Kelly and Marie is super cute! I love Kelly and Marie! Alright. You also you literally feel the pain. I'm sorry. Okay. It's gonna bug me if we don't do tricolor. I need to go to bed soon, though. Because I gotta work. I gotta work and stuff, but it's going to bug me if we don't do at least one tricolor match. So, we're gonna do one singular tricolor. And that's gonna be it. If we lose, that's it. If we win, that's it. If we disconnect, we'll try again. But the one after that will be it. If we disconnect twice, that's gonna be it. If I catch on fire and end the game, that's gonna be it. If my internet gives out, that's gonna be it. Alright, stretch. Let's do this. Tricotifua. And we are the attacking team. Let's do this! We got it! We got it, we got it, we got it, we got it, we so got it! It's probably gonna be the joke I'm gonna be repeating endlessly during the Let's Play, but I felt super proud of that one stream where we looked at the name of the stage and we were like, Montana Rio! It was so stupid, but I'm so stupid, so it was perfect. Team is going with the ultra signal, come on, come on, come on! Yeah! We secured the ultra signal! Other team got the... No. Other team got the ultra signal. The other team got the ultra signal. I do not approve of that. This is not an approved message. I am Lady here to you, and I do not approve this message. So, there was this one tweet that I thought about writing and something like that. It's gonna be like a joke aimed at politics and things like that. But that's exactly the reason why I decided not to post it. But it's gonna be something along the lines of, you know what? When I become president, I don't want to spend my days off going to the golf course or anything like that. I'm gonna play Splatoon. I'm gonna play Splatoon every day of my presidency. In fact, forget about being president. I just want to play Splatoon. Alright, let's get rid of the green. 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 Green's not welcome here. Get rid of the green. Get rid of the green. Get rid of the green's not welcome here. Those who have seen your face from back of me. I am the masquerade. It's me there. My spirit and your voice mean something about taco. The fight of my of the opera is there, eating a taco. Hey, you splattered me while I was eating a taco. You splattered me while I was eating a taco. It's okay. It is fine. It's all fine and dandy and everything will smell like a rainbow. I like it when things smell like rainbows, because rainbows smell like rainbows. And now I smell like a dead thing. Being dead is not usually a good pastime. I can't pronounce her name, but you say I bought this game to play with my friend in it, but so I never played it again. Well, it's definitely a fun time to play if you ever want to get through it and things like that. I love that one victory animation where like the one person on the right for the victory team. That was like super cute. That was a super cute victory animation. You also said I wouldn't have been able to LP during a wrap on my own. My friend really wanted to play with me, so we teamed up. The series means a lot to him, so we decided to put it through on his channel. He wanted to revive it anyway, so we're there for both of us, smiley face. It's always really fun when you have an idea for Let's Play, or something like that, and you're able to figure out a way to make it work and things like that. Like, there is one project I'm working on where it was definitely difficult trying to figure out a way that to get it to work in a way that I'd want it to, but hopefully, I don't know exactly when it'll come out, but hopefully when people see it, they'll like it. Hopefully, maybe, sort of, kind of. Alright, so that is going to be it for tonight's Gator stream. I do want to keep playing, but I'm a boring grown-up, and boring grown-ups have work. Can I just call out? I can't, but can I call out? If I could call my boss and I'm like, hey, I have an illness. It can only be cured by playing Splatoon. Okay. But anyway, what's happening next on the channel? So, likely soon we'll be doing another stream to record more Happy Home Paradise footage. I feel a little bad that I wasn't able to keep up that series on a daily schedule like I wanted to, but my current mindset is that after the Harvest Festival episode goes up, we're going to continue uploading from there, and that's going to be our main progress throughout December and things like that, because even though it would probably make more sense to end the Animal Crossing New Horizon Let's Play on the 1-year anniversary of the Let's Play, which was December 1st, the Let's Play is not actually going to end on the anniversary. It will end in December, but not on the anniversary. So, stay tuned more for that. There's also something big that's going to be happening in December as well. This is something that I've been working on for a little while, and it's very important to me, so I'm really looking forward to this as well. So that's going to be pretty fun too. I also do have a bit of an announcement as well. Like, I'll have a proper post announcing this pretty soon as well. But the 12 Days of Gaming, that's a fun little tradition we've had around the holidays as well. Because of the thing that's happening in December, I decided to postpone the 12 Days of Gaming 2023 until January. So it is still going to happen, it's just happening in January now. So I do apologize for the delay on that. But I think the people are going to be excited for what's coming up in December. And after everything all calms down from that, Pikmin 2 and Breath of the Wild will be returning, as well as eventually LP44, which is going to be a pretty fun time all around. Alright. Bye everybody, thank you for coming. Thank you for watching this Gator stream, and thank you, Beanie Evolved, for coming. Hi, you're super awesome. So thank you guys so much for watching tonight's Gator stream, and next time, let Gator to you. Oh yeah.